So if you look at the ancient Mayan texts in the Popol Vuh, in the creation of humankind, pre-Columbian deities first tried to make man using mud. That wasn't effective. Then they tried using wood. That wasn't effective. And the last intent, which stuck, which was effective, was making human beings out of corn.
In the rural Mayan municipality of Tenajapa, Chiapas, Mexico, researcher Linda Abarbanell is examining the impact of formal education on this historically agrarian community. Specifically, as the younger generation is exposed to more advanced educational opportunities, what are the repercussions for the community's long-held traditions and beliefs?
So you have this deep spiritual connection, and in the traditional festivals, those are really rooted in kind of a syncretism between these pre-Columbian agricultural beliefs and rituals that were really revolving around praying for the success of the crops, for the success of the planting, syncretizing that with early Catholicism. In the Culture of Schooling project, we're particularly interested in looking at how formal education around the world shapes the kind of core values and beliefs that people have, particularly in the areas of science and religion. And in my particular context, where I work here in Tenajapa, I'm interested in seeing how these shifts in education, shifts in beliefs about science, shifts in beliefs about religion and religious affiliations have an impact on the healthcare beliefs and practices that people have. The research team is pretty amazing. There are psychologists like myself, there's anthropologists, I believe there's some linguists, there are demographers, and there's people from all over the world, Ghana, Israel. You still have these religious festivals taking place, but then fewer young people are wanting to take on those kind of traditional roles, the religious authorities here. In the past, the structure of the community was that everybody would have to take part. People would be sometimes dragged from their homes screaming and kicking because it involved a huge investment of time and personal resources. So you have fewer and fewer people as the older people that perform these roles are dying out. Part of that could be due to education shifting people's beliefs, but also education as a form of cultural assimilation, where once young people are getting education, maybe increasing knowledge about scientific processes, that they no longer see some of these traditional prayers as being effective. They're no longer going to want to maintain that subsistence agricultural lifestyle. They no longer see the value of the investment in these festivals. You see that in the healthcare domain too, where people no longer see the traditional medicine necessarily as being effective. Some of the changes that I've been seeing in healthcare here in Tenajapa, first of all, people going to the clinic for medicine, people using pharmaceutical medicine. Traditionally, you would have belief in a form of witchcraft. They would perform prayers, cleansing rituals, etc., that would heal that person. People still will use the medicinal plants as their first course of action when they're sick, but then if that doesn't work, they'll go to the clinic, and then if the clinic doesn't work, then they'll say, okay, the doctor can't figure out what this is, I've taken all of these different medicines, so it must be, brujeria or some form of witchcraft. Healthcare is an important domain that, cuts across literally all aspects of people's lives, and where people routinely combine different types of belief systems, supernatural belief systems, socio-relational beliefs about the causes of illness, as well as biological, more scientifically based belief systems.
The impact of formal education is rippling out in Tenajapa in interesting ways. Dr. Abarbanell plans to share her findings with the community as a useful resource for thinking about the future.
I'm hoping that this will spark conversations so that communities themselves can think about what type of society do we want to create here and what type of an educational system do we need in order to lead to that end.